Durgani mat prasadat tarishasi atachettam hankara nashrosyasi vinak syasi. Mat of me, chitta, being in consciousness, sarava, or durgani, impediments. Mat prasadat, by my mercy. Tarishasi, you will overcome. Ata, but. Chet, if, from you. Ankarat, by false ego. Nasrosyasi, you will not hear. Vinakshyasi, you will be lost. So the topic is to follow this spiritual connection, to depend on Krishna, depend on the Krishna, the representative, the spiritual masters, the sadhus. And that is the positive. The negative is, if we don't do that, we'll be lost. If we are not inside, we should be outside. If you're not outside, you should be inside. There is not like being in the margin. I'm neutral. According to 𝐁𝐸𝐺𝐤𝐢𝐳 Vishwanath Chakrabarti. Neutral people are also considered enemy. So to be neutral means we're not saved. So Krishna is speaking. Bhakta Saraba Durgani. If you are connected with Krishna, if you depend on Krishna, if you are fixed in Krishna, what prasadat tarishyasi. By Krishna's mercy, by the connection, the current of Krishna or divinity flowing down will cover us. But if we are not connected, Krishna said here, we'll be lost. Atachettam hankara. What is the reason we will not be connected with Krishna? A false ego. Hankara. Now, Sroshasi are not hearing of Krishna. If you don't hear Krishna, depending on Krishna and working on Krishna, not hearing, the Krishna will be lost. Vinakshyasi, you'll be lost. If you become conscious of me, Krishna said, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace, by Krishna's grace. This is very, very important. Very, very important. If we are connected with Krishna, Krishna promises will pass through all obstacles. All obstacles. Sarva Durgani will pass through all obstacles. All completely. Because Krishna is a master of the illusory energy of Krishna. The illusory energy of Krishna, Maya, is working on behalf of Krishna. It's not independent. Maya is not independent. Maya is energy of Krishna, inferior energy of Krishna. So Maya does not stand in front of Krishna. Maya stands at Krishna's back. Why? Because he's ashamed to stand in Krishna's front. If we remember the past time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒. 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 is a big scholar, Pandit Digvijay over India. Conquering all Pandit. And he traveled with a big truck full of books. Any book, you just take any book. He would not look at it. He would tell you open any page and just tell him your page such and such. He will defeat you completely. So he traveled with trucks full of books with servants. And whomever he defeats, he will sign. So he has a very long register. Very long register. 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒. Digvijay. So when he was famous, and when devotees, when the scholars, Navadvip was a center of education. All the scholars, even little children, they would challenge big men. That was how the situation was. Even children. So when they heard the 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 was coming to Navadvip, every scholar ran away. His name created fear in the heart. All the scholars ran. And then 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 came looking for whom he would combat with. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very merciful towards him. And he desired to bless him. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already showed himself to him in his previous life. 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 is Nimbarkacharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already showed him his form. Radha Krishna form. Radha and Krishna showed him his. They give his darshan, their darshan to him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his darshan to him in Gauranga form and promised him they will meet in the next life in Kali. So he came as 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 to fulfill the promise he had given to him. And seeing how proud he was, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu planned everything as a super soul in the heart of everyone. He planned everything. And one day he was at the bank of the Ganga with his students. Because he already planned everything. And 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 came there. Oh, you are the Nimai. I've heard of you, the Nimai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so humble. Say, yes, I am the baby Nimai be here. I didn't just say baby. I don't know anything. So with all pride within him, 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 started to boast. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, you are such a great personality, such a great, wonderful personality. You are well known, well respected. There's no one like you in the universe. So just for us to get purified by your presence, can you just glorify Ganga for us? Immediately upon the request, 𝐾𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑒 composed 100 slokas, very long slokas. Each time I would glorify him. The students were bewildered when they had him. It was just like it was just so fluent. It was so fluent. He was just releasing, and not that he just have to write down. They just flew automatically, like showers of rain. Such time I would say, wonderful, wonderful. This is great, wonderful. To the surprise of the Digbijai, to his surprise, Sujam Mahaprabhu said, yeah, composition is wonderful. And at the same time, can you check and see if there are faults in this your composition? 𝐾𝐸 said that never exists. That cannot exist. That never happened. There cannot be mistake in me. Sujam Mahaprabhu said, oh, wonderful. No, I'm just requesting. I'm just a student of grammar. I don't know much. But can you check and see if there are mistakes in their composition? I said, no, there cannot be any mistakes. And after all, you are a student of grammar. What do you know about this? You can't understand anything. So Jamavu said, yes, that is why I'm asking you to check. But if you don't mind, if you will not be offended, can I say something? Okay, this never happened to him before in his life. So he said, and you are not even a big pundit. You are just a small boy, just a student of grammar. That's all. So he said, so if you think there's something, okay, let me see. Sitija Mahaprabhu just pointed him. Says, see, the whole world knows that Bhavani has only one husband as Lord Shiva. But look at their composition. You have placed, look at their construction here. Their construction here has made Lord Shiva's wife on chest, because here shows that she has another husband instead of other than Lord Shiva. This is redundancy. Hey. 𝐾𝐸 couldn't take the redundancy, my composition. It says, see here. And my dear Lord, my dear Master, let me tell you, my dear Master, see, let me tell you, see, this is just one. This is just one. It is only one. If you look at more, you will see so many other mistakes. 𝐾𝐸 broke down. It broke down. This has never happened in my life. What is this? The student became very happy and they wanted to laugh. Sitamo said, no, keep quiet. He is a great personality. You don't laugh at great personality. Even if they make mistake, you don't laugh at a great personality. So please be quiet. And behold, the news spread. All the panditars who ran away and those who were still available and trying to run away, they became very happy that yes, this has happened. It's a glory to all of them. Nimai is a glory for the Brahmanas, the panditars. Not just for this, he is a glory of the whole world because he's a supreme personality of God. The Christ jewel of Brahman, the Christ jewel of Sannyas, the Christ jewel of the whole creation, both the spiritual and the material world belongs to him. So Chaitanya always just pacified him. He said, my dear, please. Now it is night. You can go home. Go home and take rest. Tomorrow we will meet and then we can discuss more. So 𝐾𝐸 quietly left. When he went home, he worshipped Saraswati Devi. He worshipped Saraswati Devi very nicely and cried before her. My dear mistress, if you have to defeat me, if you have to disgrace me, why you don't disgrace me before a man? Why a small boy? Why? What did I do? Saraswati told Kesava Kashmir, that person you call a small boy is my master. He's a master of all living entities, the master of Vaikuntha, and he has come down here as a Brahmana just to help the whole world, especially the most degraded human beings, living entities. He is my master, and he is the supreme personality of Godhead. You call him a small boy because of ignorance. So I'm requesting you for your own good, just go and surrender to him. Saraswati told him, he is my master. And when you are standing before my master, I don't have the strength to stay on your tongue. Therefore, I left. So this is the point. The point is, if we don't take shelter of Krishna, if you don't surrender to Krishna, if you're not connected with Krishna, not Chitta, Sarva Durgandi, Mot Pasada, Tarisha, see, if we don't take shelter, if you're not connected with Krishna, if you're not connected with the divinity, with the sadhu, with the spiritual master, the Christians say our activity, our activities are based on false ego. Therefore, the result is, nah, so shall see, don't shall see. You don't hear me, you'll be lost. If we don't connect ourselves with Krishna, we'll be lost. In Bhagavad Gita also, 266. In 266, Krishna said, Nasti buddhira ayuktasya, na chayuktasya bhavana, na cha bhavayata santiri asantasya kutta shukam. One is not connected. The point is no connection. If you're not connected, so Bhagavad Gita is speaking. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind. And without which, there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? The same. No connection. Na ayukta shya. Ayukta. Ayukta is one who is not connected. Nasti buddhiri ayukta shya. An intelligent person is one who is connected with Krishna. Less intelligent person has no connection with Krishna. And that means what? Be lost. One who is not connected with Krishna is lost. So here Krishna said the same thing. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind. And when there is no steady mind, if the mind is not steady, you can imagine you enter the kitchen to cook and your mind is not steady. What are you going to cook? You're going to burn everything you're going to cook. Or there will be no salt, or there will be too much salt, or it's too watery, or no water, or too salty, or no salt. Anything we want to do without the mind, it is useless. So anything, our importance is the connection we have with Krishna, with the divinity, with the pure representative of Krishna, the sadhu, so the spiritual master. If there's no connection, we are lost. No intelligence, we are befooled by material energy of Krishna. Krishna said here, Now so shall she. If you don't hear Krishna, due to false ego, you be lost. Binak shall she. Binak shall she. Be lost. See how we are lost in this material world. Without connection with Krishna, everyone is lost in this material world. We are carried by false ego. It's false ego. False ego is driving everyone crazy. So Prabhupada said in a purport, a person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish, who are the foolish? Those are not connected with Krishna. No connection. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. The one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna, becomes the most intimate friend. Can we imagine that? Krishna is the most intimate friend, not just friend, very intimate friend. Those who are connected with Krishna, intimately connected. But those who are not connected with Krishna, they are lost. Lost. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated from the material perplexities. If we are connected with Krishna, we are freed from all material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in a material whirlpool, in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. If you have no connection with Krishna, we have no existence. You're lost, no existence. That's all. We have no existence. What is the weed in the sea? What is the weed? They have no existence. The waves will blow them to that side, blow them to that side, blow to that side, will blow to this side, all directions. So there's no existence. One who has no connection with Krishna has no existence. Only one who is connected with Krishna has existence, have life. We can say that, yes, you have life. Only when one is connected with Krishna. Those who are in this class, anyone who is attending this class must put on a video. Anyone who is in this class must put on a video. If you don't put on a video, you can go back to it. But if you're in this class, you put on a video. Except if your network is not good, you can understand. But if you're in this class, put on a video. You want to see your lotus face. So we know we are talking to a person, not void. There's no impersonalism here. We are personal. So we are looking at being connected with Krishna. We have life. And not connection with Krishna, we are lost. Lost, not L-U-S-T. This is L-O-S-T. We finished, no existence. So we are looking at Bhagavad Gita 1858. We also look at Bhagavad Gita 266. Now we look at 1859. Jadahankaram Ashritya na Yotsyasi Itimanyase Mityaesa Yavasayaste Prakritistvam Iyoksyati. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. One who is not connected with Krishna is what? Krishna said here, we already repeated many times that will be lost. You have no existence. So Krishna confirmed it here. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. Falsely directed. Falsely. False. It's not real. We are going to act whimsically. By nature, we are Krishna's servant and we have to be engaged according to Krishna's direction. One who is not connected with Krishna has no direction. We have repeated this, it's confirmed by Krishna here. There's no direction. We are not engaged by Krishna. So Maya is engaging us. Where is existence for one who is engaged by Maya? That's what we see in the material world. In the material world, this is what we see, perplexity everywhere. Why perplexity? Because we are directed by Maya. And why directed by Maya? We are acting in false ego. We're not listening to Krishna. We're not connected with Krishna. We're not following Krishna's direction. We're directed by Maya. That's so. We are not independent, so we cannot do things on our own. We have to be directed. And one is considered fortunate to be directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or to be directed by Krishna's representative. So we say spiritual connection. We already have material connection, which is a troublesome life. Material connection is troublesome life. In one sense, we cannot remain unconnected. Either we are connected with Krishna or we are connected with Maya. We cannot be neutral. There's nothing like neutrality. I am not there, I'm not here. Even if we're not here, we're not there. What kind of life is that? If one is not an animal, then you are not a bird. Then you are a bat. Bat doesn't look like a bird. Also, it doesn't look like other four-legged animals. And nobody it's inauspicious. Bat is inauspicious entity. So we should not create inauspiciousness. If we're not connected with Krishna, we are existing inauspiciously. So here Krishna is speaking to us through Arjuna. Arjuna was a military man and born of the nature of the Kshatriya. Therefore, his natural duty was to fight. But due to false ego, he was fearing that by killing his teacher, grandfather, and friends, he would incur sinful reactions. Actually, he was considering himself master of his actions, as if he were directing the good and bad result of such work. We are not a controller. So we have to be directed. And the perfect and bona fide person to direct us is Krishna and Krishna representative. So here one is considered fortunate if we are being directed by Krishna. And Krishna made it very clear. By our nature, we are servant and we must serve. So if you don't serve Lord Krishna, you're going to serve Krishna's illusory energy. And serving Krishna's illusory energy means suffering. There's nothing more than that. No one can ascertain his destiny as the Supreme Lord can. Therefore, the best course is to take direction from the Supreme Lord and act. No one should neglect the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the order of the spiritual master, who is the representative of God. One should act unhesitatingly to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That will keep one safe under all circumstances. That will keep one safe under all circumstances. So one is considered fortunate who is acting under Krishna's direction, who is acting by the will of Krishna or the representative of Krishna. This is spiritual connection. We know when we are connected with somebody. We know what it means. If you are connected with a wealthy person, you'll be wealthy. That is natural. Because the connection means what? We are linked. And whatever happening with that person, it will also become our own experience. If you're associating with a poor person, you'll be poor. Whoever we associate with, we are going to get the energy of that person. If you associate with a pure devotee, you will be pure. You become pure devotee eventually. That is the business, the purpose of connection. We are connected with something. We are eventually that thing we are connected with. So this issue not about about if I like. No, there's not an if I like. It's compulsory. Spiritual connection is compulsory because that is life, and we are meant for that. We have been trying to disconnect ourselves since time immemorial. And what has been the result of that activity? Frustration, perplexity, anxiety, unlimited anxiety, fear, and insecurity, suffering. That's what we have been getting. Always trying to disconnect ourselves as if it is possible for us to do that. So Krishna is telling us here to be wise, to become wise. To become wise and get connected. So get connected with him by following his direction. In text 60, Krishna said, Swabhava jena kanteya nibadha swena karamana karatumde chasiyan mohat karisya savasupitat. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction, but compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Under illusion. False ego. As I say, false ego is making a note to here. That false ego, what? It creates illusion. It creates illusion in our life. That we are refusing, we are trying to disconnect ourselves from Krishna and act according to our own whims. So Krishna said, under illusion, by doing that is illusion. Trying to run away from Krishna is illusion. We cannot disconnect ourselves. We cannot disconnect ourselves from Krishna. But the connection is covered by Maya. And Krishna consciousness is to help us uncover that. So that our original state of existence will come back, or we regain that, or as Srila Prabhupada would put it, to be reinstated in our constitutional position as eternal servant of Krishna. If one refuses to act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, then he is compelled to act by the mood in which he is situated. What is that? Passion or ignorance? That's it. Everyone is under the spell of a particular combination of the moods of nature and is acting in that way. But anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious. So if we connected with Krishna, we have a glorious life. If you don't get ourselves connected with Krishna, we will live a glorious life. A life which is what we are experiencing now. Unnecessary suffering. Therefore, the conclusion is that we should try to get ourselves connected back to Krishna and be happy and be happily engaged in Lord Krishna's service. And that will solve all the problems of life eternally, as you will be sent back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. I have a question which I've often answered, but I feel in the context of this discussion, I repeat the question so that those who are connected for the first time or just coming, they can know also the answer to the question which you have already answered in the past. So the question is about the connection. So the basic thing is, how, what are the ways or what are the things it takes for one to be connected to Krishna?
What do we do to be connected?
Yes. Yes, Kumar.
Okay. We are eternally connected with Krishna. The connection is already there. We cannot be disconnected, but our connection is covered. The connection we have with Krishna is now covered. So how do we uncover that connection? Is the process of sadhana. Sadhana bhakti. Which begin from hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, remembering Krishna, worshiping Krishna. This is how we can uncover our connection. The Krishna said, if you don't hear me, Krishna said, what he said, if you don't hear me, you'll be lost. You don't hear me. So we should hear about Krishna. And this movement is created for that, for hearing about Krishna. This society is for hearing about Krishna. So hear. All right.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. And in verse 266, Guru Maharaj, from Bhagavad Gita, he said that when one is connected to the Supreme, then he has steady mind, he has transcendental intelligence, and finally he's peaceful. Now, when we see the aspect of devotee care, we see that many devotees are not peaceful because they have some issue like health problem, financial or relationship. So the core of that problem, can we relate it to the fact that they are not connected to the Lord?
Yes. Do you see any pure devotee? You see any pure devotee who is not peaceful? Cannot see any pure devotee who is not peaceful. So that means that they don't have a health problem, disagreement problem, relationship problem. So is it because they don't have that? They have more than us. They have the problem we are doing more than us. Why are they not disturbed like we? Because they are connected with Krishna. Therefore, this afternoon we remember one verse from Bhagavad Gita. When the Krishna said, if you take shelter of this knowledge, you will attain to the nature like my own. And because this is connection. And what is the proof? The proof is that if we are connected with Krishna and attain to Krishna's nature, Krishna said you will never be disturbed. When the material world is being destroyed or is being created or being maintained, we have no issue. So we have issue because we are not connected with Krishna. The connection with Krishna is not just a physical, not because I'm in the Krishna movement, I'm connected. That is a different thing. Don't we see that we can sit with somebody physically, very, very close with somebody physically, and at the same time, we are thousands of miles away from the person. Don't we see that? And that the person who is thousands of miles away from us, we are very intimately connected with the person. Don't we see that happening? So, what is connection? The connection is not the physically present with somebody. The connection is the internal. It's internal. How we are conscious of Krishna. How we are conscious of the sadhus. We are mentioned many times how we should tune into the channels of our chariots. That is connection. If we tune into the station of our chariots, we will get all the things that is happening with them. And because we are experiencing that, you see all of our great devotees, they are connected with the Supreme. You see what's happened to them. They have no worries at all about anything. Look at Prahlad, small boy, 5-year-old boy. The torture and the trouble his father gave to him. Was Prahlad bewildered, frustrated, angry, bewildered, and very disturbed and fearful and insecure? Never. Why? He's connected with Krishna. Therefore, he was not afraid of anything. He was not afraid of anything. His father, who is feared by the whole Limited at that time. The small boy Prahlad was not afraid. Indra, all of them were afraid of Yakasipu. But Prahlad was not afraid. Why? It is his connection with Krishna alone is secret. So we should understand what you mean by connection. You're not just being physically present with somebody. Our heart to be connected with the person. You can bring a person who is thousands of kilometers away to you, very close to you, and have an intimate relationship and even enjoy yourself more than a person who is physically with you. So those are very wise because of that, to show the example of connection. Those who are wise, they say that the two lovers can lie down comfortably on the stick of a broom. While a palace will not contain two enemies. That's the connection. Two enemies, they cannot stay in one country, even one country cannot contain two enemies. But a stick of broom can comfortably accommodate two lovers. That is connection, because they are connected from inside. They don't even have to say something. They don't even have to say something. Just look at each other. They understand each other. They understand each other. Just by looking at each other, they understand. That is why you see someone is shouting for the person who is very close with him, as if the person is very far. Why? Because we are disconnected. So there is a disconnection between us. So it's a big gap between, even though we are physically together. Although you're physically sitting together, but very far away from each other. Internally. One day, Srimati Radharani's is a west belt. Her west belt fell down. She just looked at Dondadevi. Immediately she understood. She didn't speak. She just looked at it. Immediately she understood. And she went and picked it up. That's connection. They were not shouting at each other. You can understand. All right.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. So now we can take question from other devotees, Maharaj.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
How are you,
Prabhu.
Maharaj?
Very good.
Nice to see you.
All right.
Thank you for a wonderful explanation on connection, and it's really enlightened us. But still, I'm still in darkness. Maharaj, my question is that the problem is basically that when some devotee, that is basically my problem is basically, sometimes, some devotees say something which I feel offended. And then this is because of my incapability, because I'm not able to adjust or tolerate or not able to concentrate on basically that, because of something saying, then I lost my the connection between the concentrating on deity, my chanting, because my mind goes completely on what the other person told me, so that actually create a lot of disturbance in the mind. So I don't know how to, sometime to recover that, a quick recovery. It happens, but it takes time. So I want that, what should I do it to do a fast recovery to come back to the normal?
Thank you. Thank you for asking. What we should do, how to recover from such things, it requires strengthening our Krishna conscious mind. Strengthening our Krishna conscious mind. By engaging the mind more in Krishna conscious activities. Last week, one experienced devotee was showing us some practical way to deal with things like this. He said some devotees were having some unpalatable discussion with her. Because means it was very, very disturbing. Very disturbing. The thing they were saying to her was very disturbing. But she was able to recover quickly from it because she has to connect that with Krishna's pastime. Krishna performs so many pastimes. So so she was looking at Krishna's activities, which has connection with the experience was having. And because he started thinking of that and forgetting about this thing, that trouble disappeared. That is why he said it requires our Krishna conscious, what did I say? We should stimulate our mind, our Krishna conscious mind. So she was able to do this because she's hearing nicely. And Krishna has different activities. Therefore, she was able to connect that the disturbing situation with Krishna. Yeah, the Krishna, there are certain persons which are very disturbing that. Example, Krishna appeared as Arista Sura in Vrindavan. Arista Sura. A bull, huge bull appearing. And he made the whole Vrindavan dark by his strength to even shake the whole Vrindavan. His movement, because he was like a mountain. And with that anger, he was really shaking the whole Vrindavan by his movement. So everybody was panicking. But looking at the Krishna. So here we have a threatening and frightening situation, which is very disturbing to the mind. But by connecting that with the Krishna, how Krishna came in, because he had connection with Krishna, the Krishna killed the bull, Arista Sura. And by killing that, they generated from this person, from negative, it ends with positivity. Not even positivity, what a transcendental situation, creating Radha Kunda and Shyama Kunda. That's Arista Sura. So meditating on that, transforming the negativity by connecting ourselves with Krishna, by Krishna conscious pastime, Krishna activity, Krishna pastimes, one is able to get up from negative side. So how are we developing our mind in Krishna consciousness matters a lot in this. You understand?
Yes.
This is how we will live our Christian conscious life. We are not going to be free. No one should think that we are going to have a free life. That does not exist in a material world. That does not exist in a material world. It doesn't exist in a material world. There will always be something, either from our mind, from intelligence, from somebody, from the weather, from the environment. From so many things will happen. Krishna said. We should try to understand. But Krishna did not say that this place is a peaceful place. And Krishna didn't say that. So why are we expecting that there will not difficulties? Challenges. But how we handle the difficulties, that is the level of our Christian consciousness. That shows the level of our Christian consciousness. How we handle that problem, it shows the level of our Christian consciousness. And for us to be able to do this perfectly, we should learn how to connect our experiences with many unlimited persons of Krishna. If we want to do that perfectly, then we should hear more about Krishna. Hear more about Krishna. So we hear about Krishna. Does it make sense?
Very much, Maharaj. Thank you very much for relieving me from this stress. Actually, I was under a bit of stress. Now it is okay. Now I'm relieved, actually. May I ask you, Maharaj, another question?
Yes.
Okay. So, Maharaj, thank you for this answer.
Instead of us to look at the situation, to look at the person, we should look at the Krishna. We should be able to connect with Krishna. Yes. And Krishna has specifically and purposely, before many persons that have to deal with every single situation will experience the material world and beyond. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Maharaj, another question is basically like regarding to my spiritual master. So the spiritual master blessed us with giving us the initiation, but we don't comply to that. Actually we see that he's away, so we are also away. So basically I want to connect back to him. How do we connect to him so that at least whatever initiated he has, I know he has feel that my devotee will do, my disciple will do something for when I initiated him. How do I connect back to him without in his presence over here?
Hear his glorious activities. We just mentioned how we should connect our negative situation with transcendent activities. So we'll get free. So we'll hear about his glorious activities. We should hear his lectures. Read his books. If he has written some books, you should read. Because if you anything anyone has used carry the potency of that personality. The dresses you are wearing, your potency is inside. The shoes, the watch, or cell phone, everything you are using, all our personal things, it carries a certain amount of our energy. So if you write a book, and energy is inside.
Mm-hmm.
If you give a lecture, your energy is inside. Mm-hmm. That is why devotees be careful with what we are giving out. If you are leading kirtan, your energy is inside. If you are leading kirtan and you are not composed, so whatever is your mind there, that is what they are sending out to the people. So devotee, be very careful in everything we do, because it is our offerings to Krishna, to the whole world. And Krishna is going to reciprocate, reward us by what we do, not by what somebody did, but what we do individually. So here about him, we should talk about him. should read about what is wonderful activities. That's how we get connected. You cannot call somebody if you are not thinking of that person before. You cannot call somebody if you're not thinking of that person. To call a person, you must be thinking of it. To write the person, you must be thinking of the person. We know we are in a difficult world, so we should not be surprised that we have problems. We shouldn't be surprised that we have problems. We should not be surprised that we have problems. We should not. Well, this material is meant for them. So, and they're going to come because they have already, it's a package. It's already packed within our body. So everything which is there, it's already there. It will come out when it is time for anything to come, it will come. So the best thing for us is to strengthen our Christian consciousness so that we'll be able to handle every situation nicely and move on without being distracted or being disturbed. We will consider ourselves advancing when we are practicing our Christian consciousness in such a way that we are no more disturbed by certain things. We are no more disturbed by the difficulties. And we take the difficulties and make advancement in our Christian consciousness. Does it make sense?
Very much, Maharaj. Thank you very much. So actually, you have simplified everything so much. It's easy actually from now to actually meditate. Actually, we are so ignorant actually, especially me. So thank you very much for enlightening and for your explaining so well. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you for your time as well. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
If any devotees having questions, they can raise their hand or they can type in the chat box if someone wants to ask question. I think we don't have much questions, so we close for today's session. Thank you so much, Gurudev. Thank you, every devotee, for joining us today. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Bhakti Damodara Maharaj ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita cities ki jai.
Jai.